Hi guys. So I was just pulling some cards for myself, and I figured I should post it. See, she was just alright until I started recording. Anyways, I'm gonna show you what I got so far, and then we're just gonna keep pulling, okay? If you're coming in, we'd greatly appreciate it if you drop down and hit that like, share, subscribe button. Helps get the messages out there, and I appreciate those. I don't even like to call them donations, but okay, energetic donations just as much as I appreciate financial ones. So, just so you know. Alright, so the card we have, we're pulling from the Kipper deck. The card we have is the House reverse, the Despair, okay, the Community, okay, and the False Person. And then at the bottom of the deck we have Official Person, okay? What I'm getting so far, I'm just going to be straightforward with you. I'm just pulling just to strengthen my psychic gifts, alright? Because I was watching a reader the other day, and she didn't recommend to do that, but she said that that's what she does, and I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that we could do that. I honestly, I'm still new, we're on this journey together. Anyways, so the House reverse, when I used to pull this card upright or reverse, I would think that it's talking about an actual house, or the house of, like, if you look at it, it looks like a rich people, like a mansion, right? People with a lot of money, or even a secret society house, right? But as of lately, Spirit has been guiding me to take this like the house of God. So a church, okay, like what God stands for, his house, right? So what I'm getting is that with the Despair card, I feel like this is God's energy. Like Spirit is disappointed in the fact that these people, this community, has put shame on his name because they have been false people towards an official person. Whether that be you, collective, or just in general, okay? This could be a worldwide message as well, okay? This could be happening to lots of people, or, just in general, all over the world, okay? And behind that we have the Lover's card, okay? So these people didn't express any type of love to this official person. And this official person is the type of person that exudes loving energy, is what I'm getting. I just heard without fault. Now, nobody's perfect, but if this is you, collective, the official person is typically what I think like a earth angel, right? They're the real deal. They won't BS you. They'll keep it straightforward with you, and they also, they're healing. They exude loving energy, right? Yeah, they didn't get the message from God, is what I'm getting. Is they missed the lesson. They missed the it was like a test to see, like, like, how are they going to treat this person that's different than them? Or, whatever the case may be. Because in a lot of cases, you collective and a lot of the collective you don't look like and you don't talk like maybe everybody in your community, maybe like the rest of them. You could be very different. Yeah, you have childlike energy, right? They didn't get the message about a childlike, very freeing type of person, very loving, innocent type of person, right? Okay, Mac. Hopefully we can finish this message. I don't know. Anyways, they didn't get the message about you being some type of or there being some type of a childlike energy. Okay? This community that was fake towards this official person. And then we got occupation reversed. Yeah. So this is what I'm getting, okay? Some of these people had a title in the kingdom, okay? I know in my particular situation, one person has a title of authority, and as I say that, I'm looking at official person and then occupation at the same time, all right? So this is people that was placed in authority in the kingdom, in the house of God, and they didn't take it seriously. They did things opposing, exuding love, okay, toward the collective, okay? Okay, so we've got poverty in reverse, right? This official person that they failed the test on, that left God in despair, disappointed about the way they treated this person or you. This person is rich in spirit, okay, and will be extremely rich in spirit and in soul in the distant horizons as well. Yeah, because this person's committed to being the real deal. And you have you're committed to this relationship that you have with the divine. Okay? Let's see what else we got. Keep looking at this official person. Yeah, they really weren't acting out of love. They really did not honor their title. This includes like officers and things like that too, so they didn't appreciate the position of power that the divine gave them. And in my situation, I was just talking to, or I spoke to the person that is in my particular situation that has a title in the kingdom, about how God gave Saul the power to, crowned him king, right? And so the prophet told Saul that if God gives him his power, he can easily take it away as well. Because Saul got very... Anyways, so these people did not appreciate their title. And so I told this particular person in my life that Saul, which is the truth, Saul was given his position of power from the Lord. And that the prophet said that just as easy as God gives you your power, to rip it away, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen. Because Saul was arrogant. Saul was egotistical. Saul started making it less about the Lord and about, being a servant of God, and more about his personal praise and his own personal glory. Okay? Now, I don't know what your situation is, but my situation, this person with a kingdom title, right, that was given a position of authority in the kingdom, takes a lot of credit for things that God does. Will say that who did this for you? Who did that for you? Right? And I think that, that's very egotistical, and you probably shouldn't do that. Because you signed some paperwork, setting things in motion, right? On behalf of, like, say somebody signed paperwork on behalf of you to try to, set something in motion for you, and then it actually comes through later on. You think that person got blessed with that particular thing because of you? You signed that paperwork. Yeah. You set it in motion. But did God guide you to set that in motion? You gotta think about those things, So anyways, I'm hearing like there's spiritual courthouse, okay? There's spiritual court. Yep, exactly. At the bottom of behind that adjudication. There's spiritual court going on right now, okay? And this is exactly how they look in front of the Most High. All right, you got these people in positions of power. Okay, say that's a lawyer that identifies as a Christian, right? That claims to be this diehard Christian. Say this is a church lady, Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or whatever, right? Just a regular churchgoer and, pretends like they represent God so much, right? Or just hypothetical, just whatever it is in your situation. They are in front of the Most High, and He's questioning them, saying, plead your case. Okay? Saying, explain yourself. saying plead your case, explain why you were fake. All right. Anyways, there's spiritual court going on, all right? And these people that are having to explain themselves, their actions, because they were given a specific title, right? A specific position to uphold, even people in the justice system. Okay, they were given a specific occupation, right, to uphold, and they failed. I get that they are pleading their case to the Most High. We don't know what his we don't necessarily know what his ruling is going to be, right? Because his ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, right? So we don't exactly know what his ruling is going to be. Look at that freaking smug look on that person's face. Like, if we're referring to this person that has like these people that have titles in the kingdom, or even in the justice system, look at their fucking smug face, man. Yeah, they're not rich in spirit. It's just a shame, man. That's what I get. Like, I'm trying to be more open to, like, reading the cards other than, like, okay, this looks like one of those, the intuition I get is like one of those rich people's houses, but God is wealthy, God is rich like that, and it could very well represent his house, like, I don't know, but I guess what I'm getting is that he's disappointed in a community that was being fake to an official person that exudes love. They didn't get the message about this, person that has a very, like, freeing spirit. They didn't do their jobs. They're not, and you're rich in spirit, and in distant horizons, you will be rich in spirit as well. You have a commitment with the Most High. Okay. undying commitment. And these people are under spiritual judgment. And let me tell you something. In my particular situation, I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'm gonna tell you a vision that, the Most High has been continuously giving me, right? And that is, in my particular situation, it was spiritual court. And the people that crossed me, right? I was sitting on the podium, or what do you call it, where they question people, and I was being questioned by a spirit guide, and God was the judge, right? But the people that crossed me were all sitting in the like defendant seats in a row. Some of them had orange jumpsuits on, like they were already convicted, right? And had spent some time in jail or prison. And they had chains locked to their hands like this in the front, needing to be constrained. And I wasn't wearing an orange jumpsuit. I was in a business attire. But I was being questioned by the one of my spirit guides, right? Or archangel or something. And God was the judge, and the archangel or spirit guide, which is the same thing, right? Was questioning me and asking me to explain, even though they already know what happened in my situation, right? Because they've seen everything. They were asking me my side of the story. They were asking me what happened. Yeah, see? As I'm talking about that. As I'm talking about that, wow. You could be seeing 11. Could be a synchronicity or 111. I keep trying to not see this as like this, but the mouse, in this particular reading, the mouse I'm getting represents some type of a like dark demon, like a demon or a dark ancestor. Okay, so that could be significant. Yeah, see, on this card, on sudden wealth upright, it's 777, but it's in reverse. There goes that 11 again. Hang on a second. Alright, so that's what I'm getting, alright? As people are under heavy spiritual judgment. And like there's something about a demon or a dark ancestor. Okay? No way. On a lighter note, this is what I get, okay? If this is an ancestor or even a dark ancestor on your side, collective, that's been defending you, they're over here like antagonizing these people. Oh man. Oh, while they're while they're getting jacked up, like while they get under spiritual judgment, while they get messed up, your ancestors are over here like doing the same crap that these people did to you. In some cases, they not only were acting fake towards an official person, they were like mocking, like, nah, 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 you look at your downfall, nah, 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 ha, ha, that's what you get, you know, whatever. Your ancestors doing it. Doing that crap to them while they're all messed up. Shit, dude, that's fucked up. Dang! Oh my god. That is crazy. No way, man. Yeah. You don't know about this. You don't know about this. You don't know about your, you don't know that these people are getting messed up. Or, you know, if this is your situation, you're unaware, you don't know that these people are getting messed up by your ancestors. Or that they're in spiritual court or whatever. Yeah, like these people that acted so immature, you know, towards you, or, you know, whoever story this resonates with. Somebody might be crying because we get courthouse and we get this person dressed in a, looks like they're in a judge robe. But his eyes look red. It looks like he's been crying. So that's probably, I mean, that could be, you know, God's energy too. He's like despair, but like, because God's a very compassionate God too, you know, and it breaks his heart when people do things like this, I'm sure, you know, but somebody's crying. Okay. Or maybe these people are in despair too, but look at, I don't know, look at these people inside the building behind this person. They look like they're looking at him. If this is God's energy, these might be the people that disappointed him, and they're looking at him because they know that they've disappointed him. I'm kind of getting that they're waiting to see what he does. Anyways, some of them are going to experience bad health. They don't know how, people don't know how serious this shit is, okay? They still think it's a joke, is what I'm getting. Because this is what I get. Like, okay, so if this story resonates with you, collective, these people, you weren't the only one that they abused their title with, okay? That these people have been racking up their bad karma for a long time, okay? If this message resonates with you, like say you have one, I don't know, say you have one churchgoer, okay? Say you have one churchgoer in the congregation that, you know, is being fake, hiding behind God's title, right? Hiding behind God's, the position of power he put them in, or whatever, as a servant, or as a pastor, or as an altar boy or girl, or whatever the case may be. Okay, that same person might have crossed you in a negative way and abused their title, with you specifically, but they've done other things too. Okay, they might have stolen from someone else. They might have cheated on their spouse. They might have. I don't know. I don't know what they've done, but that's what I mean. It's like they racked up all this bad karma, and it's like being cashed in now. Now they're up for spiritual court. Okay, and they have to plead their case. They will be judged once, if they do pass away and go to heaven, and depending on what you believe, they'll be questioned in the ethers as well. They'll be questioned in the spiritual realm as well. But right now, in the 3D, they are under spiritual court. They're getting judgment right now. Okay? And whether you were involved in this situation, whether they crossed you or not, they were up for audit regardless. Okay? Their karma was up for audit regardless. Now they're worried. Now they're worried. And then you have some that are worried, and then you have some that the karma hasn't hit them yet, so they don't know how serious this is. They don't know that this is not a joke. There's some people still laughing and thinking that this is a joke, that they're not going to get bad karma. Okay? And especially if you, like, say you read yourself, collective, in your own situation, you know, and you're getting the messages out, and you have some of these people viewing you on social media, or whatever the case may be, they're laughing. Some of them are laughing, thinking it's a joke. I'm hearing that some of them have to laugh it off because they kind of know something bad's going to happen to them. So they have to, like, crack jokes to not think about it, about what's about to happen to them. And then there's some who really think it's a joke and are like, you know, nothing's going to happen to me, you know. And they don't know how serious this really is. And then there's some that are very worried right now. Okay. These are, I mean, it makes sense that some of these people in the community, if you look here on the community card, some of these people are elders. And then this card right here, elder. Okay. And this card right here, it looks kind of like they have gray hairs. The people pleading their case. And then the change card came out, by the way. I mean, these people, like, this reading is kind of taking forever, but whatever. We're gonna roll with it. These people, and look at this official person with their title, that they were given by the Most High, or even authority figures, and you know, he has gray hair too. These people, like, some of them, they didn't. I mean, I don't know how to say this. These people didn't. Their health's not that great to begin with. Okay, because of they're older in age. All right, they couldn't afford to. They can't afford to be doing such messed up stuff, health wise. You know, which is why a lot of them is going to be in bad health. The way like karma works, you really don't want to do nefarious stuff if you already have like health conditions or addictions. Trigger warning. In my particular situation, I know for a fact that there's still some people that were gunning for me, some people that were attacking me and after me, and did a lot of messed up things to me. If you go to my other videos or whatever, you'll see I'm telling my side of the story of things. These were some of those people, but those people in my particular situation, like one of them was a user, okay, and like a user, okay. I don't want to go too much into detail because I don't want to trigger warning anybody, but like, they, let's just say they injected, okay. Now it's more possible to OD injecting than it is to do things the other way, okay. So that person in my particular situation, and being as old as they were in age, can't afford to be being a jerk, especially to people who don't deserve it. Okay, so because you don't know if their time's already limited. You know what I mean? Older people, and then people who use. Yeah, see, they're not in high honor. People who use substances, they are already doing something that risks their lives, okay? Let's just put it out there. They're already doing something that risks their lives, okay? Now, add bad karma on top of that, okay? Add doing something mean and antagonistic and awful to people who don't deserve it. In fact, to earth angels and to people who are actually here to help. People who have very childlike spirits and have close connections with the Most High and are committed to the Most High, right? People who are being real and authentic. Okay? Like, add that into the mix. You're pretty much writing your death sentence. Okay? We don't want anybody to die. That's not what I'm saying here. We don't want anybody to die. But in my case, I know I warned someone out of love, out of care, out of love and compassion and care, because I didn't want them to go down a messed up road and get messed up over it or whatever, So these people that, and I'm telling you as advice, collective, be very careful that you live on purpose to be a good person, especially if you suspect that somebody is a good person, right? Don't do anything bad towards them. Try your hardest not to do anything bad towards them, okay? Like, if we're talking about like, say somebody upsets you, right? And you go and you're considering going and doing some type of dark magic on them. I don't know, black magic. First of all, that's lower vibrational stuff to be doing. Okay? we don't, earth angels and empresses and emperors do not operate like that, okay? But say you were considering doing something like that to retaliate because somebody upset you, right? If you know that you struggle with gambling, say you're a gambler, right? And you know that it's a habit of yours that is just like you very much can't break. It's you're trying, but you're still stuck in that loop, kind of, because nobody's perfect, right? But say you are an intense gambler, right? Or say you have a you're notorious for speeding when you're driving, okay? You're trying to change it, but you know that that you speed sometimes when you're driving. You don't want to go and do black magic on that person that upsets you, or even your enemies, or whatever, okay? Because you judgment could be called on you, and you're racking up your bad karma on that. So I'm not saying that divine's gonna wipe you out the next time after. If you did, I don't recommend doing black magic or anything like that, but if you retaliated in some way, shape, or form, right? Just know that the divine has the power, just like I just said about Saul, and right, Saul got egotistical. Saul, it stopped being about God and started being about his ego, right? About his praise and worship, right? At any moment, the divine has the power. It's just as quickly as he gave you life, he can take it away. Okay? You're only helping him make the decision when you rack up bad karma, right? But what's worse is you're already up there in age. Okay? Or these people are already up there in age. So it's not hard at all for divine to decide to take us home, right? Sometimes he takes us home because we were only supposed to be here a certain amount of time. Other times he's got to cut other times he's got to cut the bad branch off the tree that doesn't bear good fruit and throw it into the fire. Okay? So, be careful about, and I'm telling you this out of care and compassion and everything like that. Be careful about what you do to people and how you treat people. Okay? Especially if you don't have all the facts. All right? Especially if you don't know their story. Especially if you don't know what they've been through. The worst thing you could do is assume. I'm giving you this advice, collective, but I'm also, in case there's cross watchers or whatever, I'm giving you this advice. You don't want to take that gamble, because just as quickly as he gave you your position of power, okay, he can take it away. Just as quickly as he gave you life, he can rip it away. Okay? So we don't want to be messed up, Like that's why it's just best to kind of let your ancestors and kind of let God, whatever you believe in, to each their own, but for them to deal with it. For him to deal with it, I'm not against any cord cuttings or whatever, because that's not hurting the other person. That's the point, is to free yourself from animosity and bitterness and unforgiveness towards that other person to help set you free. And the reason you want to help set you free is because you're on a healing journey, and you're trying and striving and driven to be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. And then a better version from yourself yesterday you wanted to be from the day before. And that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so retaliation and, attacking people that are, when you don't have all the facts and things like that. Like me in my situation, I mean, I could probably dabble in black magic, I get accused of dabbling in it anyways. But I probably could, and get angry and be like, well, this person did this, so they deserve that. I'm going to try to force this to happen. I could probably do that. That'd be stupid, though. That would be really, really dumb. Because, first of all, I get my intuition. I have my intuition. I have, the divine that gives me downloads, but I don't know all the facts. Not yet, anyway. Okay? He's piecing it together, but he can't give me all the details, because when things turn out the way he had originally planned for it to turn out, because he knew what was going to happen before it happened, and he helped orchestrate things. They were supposed to play out in divine timing, right? He can't mess that up, because there's something he's doing on purpose. Okay? He's orchestrating. There's a strategy to it, right? So he can't give all the details out. Okay? Now, in the meantime, I'm not gonna go and go do black magic, or even hire somebody, watching other readers, what they're saying, that you have karmics, or there's karmics in the situation that, if it applies to you, that hired practitioners, right? I could do the same thing. But that practitioner and I don't know all the facts yet. So now you can do core cuttings, like I said, and help free yourself and heal, right? You can do cord cuttings. I mean, you can do other things that doesn't hurt the other person or other people involved in your situation, right? There's all other alternatives. Okay, and just let the divine and your ancestors and sort it out, So I know this is really gone on, but you know what? I don't care, because there's other readers on YouTube that are their stuff goes long too. So we'll just clarify a little bit with the traditional deck. I think that's it for this spread right here. That was a lot. Oh man. I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'm hesitant on even saying this. The community of false people that was acting fake to this official person, and these official people that they're not official people, but they have official titles, right? They acting this way towards this good person. And I've been intuitively feeling this too. Like, I don't even want to say this. I don't even want to say this. Some of them might have been coaching their children to be vindictive. To be mean. I'm just going to tell you from experience. When you teach a child, when you raise a child to think a certain type of way or to be a certain type of person and character, it can really damage you. Okay? I dealt with a lot of brainwashing growing up. That was inaccurate information. It caused severe trust issues and trauma that I'm now having to heal from. So just keep that in mind for any cross watchers. But keep that in mind. And that's sad. That's sad. So because you got a vendetta against the collective, right? Whoever these people are to you, collective. Because they got some kind of vendetta, or they want to abuse their position of authority or whatever, or do whatever crap they were doing. They want to mess up their kid's brain while it's still developing and teach them to be corrupt. Good job. Good job. There's not enough liars and thieves and corruption in this world, is there? No, we gotta create more little narcissists and sociopaths, don't we? You're causing them more damage than you're helping. But you didn't think about that, did you? You're not considering that, huh? Yeah, because whatever the hell this is, this being fake towards this person, you just wanted to eight a sword somebody so bad, didn't you? You just had to do it so bad. This community had to do it so bad. And the reason why I say they're coercing children is because of this kid that's standing between these two old people, right? And they all got what looks like a little shit-eating grin on their face, right? But where do you think little Jimmy learned that from? And let me tell you something. That's probably why God's so pissed. Because you're messing up the sheep. Something I've been saying about the congregation. You're messing up the sheep. You're going to hide behind God. You're going to, be like you're an official person, right? Carry these titles, these rankings in his kingdom, in his house, right? Look at that. Look at that. There he is. There's God. Yeah, when I said that, that's probably was upsetting him. Ace of Pentacles. Man. That is so messed up, man. I'm telling you from experience, I'm having to unlearn all the brainwashing and trauma that was bestowed upon me. It was coercing. It was coercing, and it was brainwashing, a brainwashing technique. Okay? And I'm having to unlearn it and heal from it. And it's not easy. So, congratulations, you upset God by pretty much defaming his name. Congratulations. Happy now? Yeah, because you had to be so damn sneaky. Your little sneaky fake behavior towards somebody in the collective who's star energy, who's a star for the kingdom, for the Lord, because they're very charitable, giving and caring and kind to people, generous. They actually care about the environment and the community. But that's why there's conflict between you guys now, whoever these people are that defamed God's name. There's conflict within their little community and between them and God, because what's going on here? They're in court. They're in spiritual court. They're having a tussle, pleading their case in spiritual court. Okay? Or they're about to. Or they are in the middle of it and they don't know that that's what's going on. Because maybe they don't believe in karma. I swear to God, man. That is so sad. Anybody who, I don't know if I'll have cross watchers or whatever, I'm sure I do, or will eventually. Anybody who coaches their children to be low vibrational and jerks to other people, they're losers. They don't deserve children. Just be patient, okay? And I was using the recommendations of the I don't know if I can name drop her, but she's another reader, the same one that recommended, uh, or she says that this is what she does. She reads energy to strengthen her, her abilities, just to read the energy, but she's been using an app, and like I'm trying to use that same app, right? Or I am using it, and do all the things, clear energy and everything, and set energetic boundaries, because you have to be absolutely sure and make sure that you don't invite any lower vibrational things to come through, because they will try to, especially if you're a healer. They're attracted to the light, and they're going to try to manipulate and trickster spirits and all that, right? Or if you're dealing with monitoring spirits, people sending monitoring spirits, and you're like in the middle of this spiritual warfare. As I said that, a gnat just flew on my fingernail, and while I'm holding this card, okay? Collaboration, right? Collaborations, which those could be, the lower vibrational things, okay? Or this could be that community, It looks like they're pleading their case to this, whoever this is, too. I don't know what that means. They have to plead their case to a lot of people. A lot of people in the spiritual realm. Could be an ancestor that they're trying to plead their case to. I don't know. Anyway, God, they were working so hard to like be fake, dude. They were working so hard. They are working so hard to be low vibrational and fake, man. Like, why can't you work this hard to be legit? Why can't you work this hard to respect your title? What? I don't understand. Why can't you work this hard to honor your job? The position of power that God gave you. Why can't you work that hard to, honor God's house? Bring people to his house instead of drive them away. I don't get it. I mean, I know that there's, people who are just supposed to be here. It creates balance. Without the God, there would be no good. We would know no good, right? I mean, we wouldn't appreciate the good. Let's just put it that way. We wouldn't know the good is so good, is so great and magnificent without the bad. So there has to be like bad people in the world, and they have to do corrupt things, and they have to, you know, they gotta help balance things out, I guess. But surely, like, all of them don't have to be, most of them don't have to be, you know, I mean, I don't know, you can say there's a congregation of people, right? Of the congregation of people, it would be great if, like, 3 of them were false people in this community or in this congregation, and they were doing low vibrational stuff, dishonoring God's name, out of the whole congregation of people. That would still create balance, would it not? Some type of balance. But there'd be less people who are corrupt and messed up and all the things, you know? So, I don't know. Anything else? Straighten out my cards here. That could be significant. You know, the divine's got to straighten some things out here. He's going to. He's going to. I don't know how this message resonates for you guys, but I just wanted to jump on here, and I'm trying to sharpen my psychic abilities. And that reader told the general collective that that's one way how she does it, is she, reads the energy. And that's what I'm getting. I'm getting the Most High is in despair about this community of people that's been fake and false, either towards the collective, towards somebody who's official, or just in general. They've been fake, pretending to be work for God, but they don't. And that they did not receive the message to be loving, to extend and exude love towards this childlike energy, or even towards, children, if they're over here coaching and coercing children to be lower vibrational, right? They're not exuding God's love towards them, right? Because what would Jesus do? He wouldn't do that, right? In that they did not honor their occupation, their title that was given. But you, however, are a very rich in spirit. Okay. Or you know what else I'm getting is that they didn't honor their occupation because these are people that are not in poverty. They've got money. So maybe that was the driving motivation. But in the distant horizons, you will continue to have your close connection with the divine. And spiritual court's happening right now. These people are not rich in spirit. They're getting convicted. Your ancestors are being mean right now. But to be fair, these people were being mean to you too, laughing and mocking you. Okay? Still got messed up. But anyways, but you don't know about this right now. And about this childish lady who was these people that were very immature, that are, a lot of them are going to experience bad health, because the simple fact is they're already up there in age anyways. So it's not very hard. It's not hard at all for God to wipe them out as it is. But they're not making it any easier on them. Okay? So, a lot of them are going to experience bad health. Some of them are concerned. Some of them think that it's a joke. It's a big fat joke still. And some of them just simply don't believe. Okay? Because the change has to occur, right? There has to be a change. Or, some of them, somebody's afraid of this change that's about to happen, because they do know that that's what this is, that they've racked up this. Mind you, these people have racked up bad karma as it is. Okay? Remember, that's what I said earlier? They already racked it up in other ways. Okay? But because they don't believe in it, they don't think that this is about to go down. Something has to change, because these people were not of high honor, man. They were not operating in love. They're being sneaky as hell. But don't worry, be patient, because God is watching. Okay, He's watching their sneaky behavior. That they work so hard towards somebody who's charitable and a star energy, and they collaborated to be fake. So, but there's toil and conflict going on amongst these people, and between them and people in authority in the ethers, in the spiritual realm. Okay? So that's what I've got. Thank you for coming and listening to what I have to say, spending some time with me. I was gonna pull from the mess deck, but I don't think I will, because this has already been really long. I'm gonna cut it into a short too, so don't worry. But that was your reading. If this message resonates with you, you can go ahead and hit that like, share, subscribe. Like I said, those are just as much appreciated as donations. Okay? Know that I love you guys, and blessings with you as always. You're gonna get through this, all right? Because all things in the dark eventually come to the light. All right? That means people have been defaming God's name. They think that in some cases they think they've been defaming your name. They've been defaming His name, and they're in some huge trouble. They were so busy, distracted over here, trying to, whatever they were trying to do. In my particular situation, trying to dismantle me and destroy what I got going on, and bring my name down, or whatever the case may be, right? And it might be the same in your situation, right? But they were distracted over here, so busy doing this, that they did not even realize that they're defaming the Most High's name. They were over here so busy, in your cases, some cases, trying to steal from you and defame you and tear you down and be jealous and reckless and fight you and threaten you, and whatever the case, stalk you, whatever the case may be in your situation, collective. They were so distracted with you being the target, right? They had no idea that they were in the middle of doing that they were defaming God's name. That they were disrespecting the titles and positions that He's put them in. Just like Saul, right? Saul was he puffed up his chest so high, after a while, and he's like, man, all this praise is great, all this glory, all this attention is great, right? Totally forgot where his power came from. Who gave him that position to begin with? Totally forgot that was God. who sent the prophet to anoint him, to, call him king over Jerusalem, or over Israel, right? Over God's people. And at first he was great, he serving God, and he was so great to God, and glorifying him, and was so obedient to him, so faithful, so obedient to him, was a great servant to him, right? But he let that power, with the poverty in reverse, right? He let that power get to his head too much. He got egotistical. Okay? And like I said, a lot of these people in higher ranking positions, officers, lawyers, ministers, they start off on a good streak, right? They start off good intentions, maybe even, and everything like that. But eventually, it gets to their head. Some of them gets to their head. Okay? So, and then eventually God, rips their power away from them, because he's the one that gave it to them in the first place. Sometimes as a test to see, okay, are you gonna be obedient? Are you gonna do what I've requested of you? Are you still gonna be an honorable person with all this money, with this title, with this status? Or are you gonna be corrupt and fall into the temptation of a Jezebel spirit, the temptation of a corrupt spirit? It's a test a lot of times. Okay? And that's even why, the Bible says, he who is faithful with very little is also faithful with very much. All right? So he'll give you, his people, he'll give you give you lump sum money, and then he'll see what you do with it. Okay? Do you give back to the community, the homeless? Do you, you give back to his people? Do you give back to him? What do you do with it? Do you spend it frivolously on things you don't need? Or are you responsible with it? He'll give you like a little chunk of money, and just to see what you do with it. He already knows what we're going to do before we do it, the decisions we're going to make before we make them. But there's also free will. Okay? He already knows what we're going to do before we do it, before we say it, right? But he allows that window of free will to give you a choice to choose right, to make the right choice. And then if you're faithful with the very little, he gives you much. He gives you more and more and more. Are you grateful when he gives you this little bit? Are you thankful? Do you show gratitude to him when he gives you this little? Because if you show him gratitude when you give him this little, when he gives you a lot, he knows you're going to be grateful. For sure. Okay? And at the same time, if you learn to be grateful for this little bit, how much more grateful are you when you have a lot, and then you appreciate it more because you had a little, but now you've got more. So it trains you to be more and more and more grateful, more and more grateful, pulling you away from this corruption. All right? Teaches you to not be corrupt. He who is faithful with very little is faithful with very much. This not just money. This means titles too. This means, if you believe in the twin flame or soulmate journey too. Are you a good soulmate to somebody? Are you a bad soulmate? Did you go rogue on your soulmate? Did you betray them? Did you take the bait to betray them? Or even your soul family. Because your soul family can go rogue and betray you and be a part of this little community, right? So You know, this applies to titles too. And it's a test a lot of times. It's a test of character. It's a test of righteousness. How are you, at the end of it, how are you going to represent his house? You know? How you going to make his house look? You gonna shame his name? You gonna bring shame to his name? Or are you gonna, operate in and exude his love and set a good example? Right? So, something to consider. All right, collective. Just consider it for yourself too. That's why another reason you don't want to go and retaliate on these people, because retaliation, you're gonna make him look bad. You're still gonna make him look bad. Because if you're over here saying, "Oh, I'm loving light and I'm trying to do what's right and I'm trying to, heal and get on a healing journey and love myself and exude God's light and teach people to be better," right? But then you're over here retaliating against people that, offend you, and people that doing all this craziness to you, right? You still shaming his name. Because he says, "Oh no, you're supposed to be an earth angel. You're supposed to be an empress or an emperor or a divine feminine or divine masculine, right? You're supposed to represent my name through your love, through your character, right? Because emperor, very nurturing, energy, very nurturing, caring, loving, and so you're supposed to represent God, and you retaliating against these people is you're going to bring shame to his name. Okay? Because we don't vibe like that. We're not supposed to vibe like that, right? We're supposed to be the leaders. We're supposed to be the ones holding the lanterns in the dark tunnels, leading the energies, the collective, the souls out of that dark tunnel into the end of the tunnel where the light is, or whatever the analogy you want to use, right? We've got souls to lead. Whether you're a medium and you actually do help guide and navigate souls and communication and connect the physical world with the spiritual realm, right? And you bridge that gap, or you're here to lead and guide the souls in the 3D. We don't roll like that. We don't vibe like that. All right. So, but we also understand he who's faithful very little is also faithful very much. So if we want to get to that place of, where we're in a position of power to lead the souls out of the dark tunnel into the end of the light, because that's the ultimate, mission, right? In my opinion, if we want to get to that place, we got to be faithful right now in the midst of the storm. God's putting us to the test. Like, how are you going to react? I know how these people reacted. I know what they did, because they've already shown me what they did. And right now they're in the middle of spiritual court. So then he's going to look at you, collective, and be like, well, how are you going to handle this? How are you going to react? Because it's so easy to get angry, bitter, spiteful, resentful, malicious, vindictive, all the things, all the bitter things, right? And to fall into that same spirit and retaliate. So right now he's looking at you and you're being tested. You're being tested. He wants to see how you're going to react. You're going to handle this with grace. Be graceful and do what you got to do, and trust your spirit team to handle this. Trust him to handle the dirty work and not retaliate through black magic, through throwing rocks and hiding your hand, through stooping by responding with underhanded remarks and insults and you know, whatever. Okay, now you're not perfect. You're not always going to get it right, because if you were hurt, if you're betrayed, if you're backstabbed, you're not going to be perfect. Especially if you're in the middle of a healing journey, you're not going to be perfect. You're not always going to have the right reaction at the right time. Oh no, you're not. Okay, but what separates you is you're trying to, again, be the better version of you today than you were yesterday. Okay, and and it's the same thing every single day, right? You understand this. You know that this is a thing. That's what separates you. Okay? So, this is a test. He wants to know how you're going to respond. You're going to stoop. You're going to stoop down to these people's levels. You're going to react and respond like this and be just as corrupt and let this crap change your character for the worse, leave you bitter and nasty and shame his name? Or are you going to step up to the plate and do things differently? Are you going to do things differently? You're going to react with grace. You're going to, focus on you and what you have to do, what you're sent here to do, right? Your purpose. We want to get to leading those souls out of the dark tunnel into the light, right? That's what we want to get to. So right now he's giving you a little, because this isn't a little, don't get me wrong, this is not a little, because this is a lot to deal with. Okay, this is a lot to handle, a lot to deal with, especially if you're riding solo right now. Okay, there's a lot to deal with, but on the broader spectrum of things, in the grander scheme of things, right? This little test, this is a small test of character versus the responsibility, because then you're going to be responsible for leading other people into the light, into their better character, right? Into coming out of the darkness, right? Into finding their purpose, becoming better people. And if you can't even regulate your own emotions, if you can't even separate yourself from these people, if you can't even take the high road against right now in this situation, when you're just responsible for your own reactions, right? And your own character, your own healing, right? How the heck you gonna handle guiding a handful of other people's healing and guidance and leading them towards light? So ultimate test. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? How you gonna react? You gonna stoop, or we gonna take the high road? We're gonna do what we came here to do, and that's be the difference, be the change that we want to see in the world. It's so easy to be over here and be bitter and nasty. It's so easy to be like, oh, let's fight. Everybody want to fight all the time, right? It's so easy to be tough and big and bad and steal and scam, right? And be corrupt. So easy. Because we all got a shadow side. We've all got a shadow side. Right? Yeah, so it's easy to just succumb to that shadow side and surrender to that shadow side, especially if you're financially in need, especially if you're, like you're struggling, if you need things, if you're in survival mode, if you're angry, if you're feel that people have wronged you, if you're in an unforgiving state of mind, it is so easy to slip into that shadow and to be like, forget everybody else. I'm all about me. I'm a gimme. I'm gonna take from you because I need. It's so easy to slip into that mentality. How much harder is it to stand in your integrity, stand in your good character, hold your position of official person, not shame God's name, right? Exude God's love. How much harder is it in a world where clearly you see that communities in churches and everything are being corrupt, are being just rambunctious, ruthless, okay? And leaving the Most High in despair, upset, disappointed. You gonna be just one more of those people that's gonna disappoint the Most High? That's gonna have all this money and totally all this power and title and totally forget about where your power came from? Pride comes before the fall. Okay? So, and then the first commandment is have no other gods before me. Money, status, titles, and abusing those titles to be corrupt and shaming God's name, that is putting something before him. You're putting your own agenda against him, against his name, against what he gave you that position for. Okay? So, if you think about it, every single king in the Bible that puffed out their chest to God, oh, they were humbled. They were humbled. Pharaoh, he said it himself, out of his own mouth. He said to Moses, I, this God, I am God. That's what he said to Moses. Okay? And he really believed that because of his title as king. Arrogant, egotistical, prideful, Jezebel spirit. Okay? He puffed out his chest, and look what happened to him. Look what happened to all Egypt. Until he finally let them go. Okay? And Nebuchadnezzar. Look what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. Built a golden statue of himself because he just loved himself so much. Right? And even took away the people's Daniel, Meshach, the other one in Abednego. I can't remember what the middle one's name is, but took away their. Oh no, That wasn't him. Okay, so that was a different king actually. But before that, Nebuchadnezzar built a golden statue. Daniel was his dream interpreter. But Nebuchadnezzar wanted everybody to bow to his statue, to his golden statue, because of pride, because of egotism. He really thought he was a god. Okay? So he wanted to involve all of God's people in it too, to participate in doing something, worshiping his idol, his statue of himself. And everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Everybody did it. You know? They did what he said. Because of his position of power. His title, right? And except for Meshach, the other one, and Abednego. They were thrown into the furnace, which was turned up 7 times its regular scorching heat. Okay? And they came out not even smelling like smoke. But what happened to Nebuchadnezzar? He ended up losing his mind. He went absolutely insane, confusing himself with farm animals. He didn't even know that he was a human being anymore. He lost his mind. He went absolutely crazy, all because he had to show his look, he wanted to be worshipped. And that's what these people do, Only this time, they're hiding behind God's name. They're saying, I'm a Christian, I'm a minister, I'm a pastor, I'm saved, God loves me, I'm a holy roller. Like, except for they're, in this day and age, they're hiding behind God's name. Some of them are anyway. Some of them are cops. Some of them are lawyers. Some of them are politicians. Some of them have the title of your soulmate. Some of them have a title of your soul tribe. Okay? They still abuse their position of power that they were given. And every single king in the Bible that's in position of power that puffed out their chest to God, they got knocked down. And the Bible says he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So if he did that way back then, ripped their power from them, knocked them down, and when they puffed out their chest to him, why would he not do it today? So, conclusion of this long message is right now, collective, you're being faced with a test. This is a test. If you're going through this right now, community and all that, whatever the hell's going on in your situation, this is a test, because he who is faithful with very little is also faithful with very much. Okay? Are you going to stoop to their level? Are you going to rise to the occasion? How are you going to handle this? And I'm going to tell you it's not going to be easy, because it's definitely not easy. And it's not going to be easy because these same people, or in your situation or whatever, You might have people that think that because you don't retaliate, you're a punk. You don't say anything back, underhanded stuff, or you don't do underhanded stuff, or you're not choosing to steal from anybody and become bitter and become angry and let all this turn you into somebody who's corrupt, just as corrupt and cruel and bitter and angry. They're going to think you're a coward. They're going to think you're a punk. They're going to think you don't stand up for yourself. But the truth of the matter is you know the rules of the game. You know that God's watching. Okay? You know that your moves right now, that you got stuff you got to do. You know you can't disappoint the Most High. You're conscious of that. If you're not, you need to get conscious of that. Okay? I was wondering while I was channeling that song. I've been channeling that song, and I'm like thinking, is it just because I want to believe God's watching everything that's going on and down here in this situation, and I want him to be seeing what people have done and did it right? But I've been having this song, God is watching. It's Bette Midler, believe it or not. And it's not even, it's not called that. It's Bette Midler. And she says at the end, she's like, God is watching us. He's always watching us. God is watching us, right? Yeah. So I'm wondering why I have that song in my head, but that's the truth. You know, or you should know, collective, that he's watching us right now. And remember, you got that type of close connection with him, you know? You've got that tight, like, knit relationship with him, you know? Like, I don't know. So you're going to look like a coward. You're going to look like you're weak. Same way Jesus looked, right? When he was getting whipped and lashed and everything like that, and walked to the cross, right? He didn't react. He didn't say negative things back to them. He didn't react in a negative way. He didn't, like, he very well could have, with his power and his gifts from God, he very well could have, you know, like, taken all those people down, right? But he didn't. He went to the cross anyways, right? And he went knowing that he was the Son of God. He went knowing who his Father was. He went knowing that the power that he had. Okay? And they mocked him. And they laughed at him. They threw stones. And, you know, like, really abused him. And mocked him. And, you know, even when he was up on the cross, if you are the Son of God, why don't you prove it and save yourself and us, you know? Oh, where's your God now? That's what they would say to him. That's what they were saying to him. Okay? And so they were mocking him too, and probably thought he was weak too. They thought he was a coward too, weak, and he wasn't telling the truth, that he wasn't the Messiah, and da-da-da. They really believed that he was, you know, he wasn't the real deal. Okay? Mocking him and making jokes. And he didn't save himself from the cross. He didn't strike everybody down, you know? Like he could have. While they were mocking him and all this and that and doubting him and right? So you're going to have people who think you're a coward. Is what I'm trying to say. You're going to have people who think that you're a punk, you're a coward, because you're not out here trying to provoke a fist fight with anybody. And if somebody does say something to you, you're not responding back. You're not saying anything. So they're going to think you're a coward and you're a punk. But the truth is Jesus had in mind his mission. He knew what he was down here to do. He knew while they're ridiculing him, and while they're disrespecting him, and while they're mocking him, and while they're laughing at him, and while they're poking fun at him, and while they're doubting him, in the back of his mind, he knew, okay, I'm here for a specific mission. I was sent down here to make it to that cross and bear all that pain and suffering and sins and everything, because there's a bigger picture. There is a bigger picture. There's a broader spectrum that he was looking at. He said, okay, I'm here to do a mission to save the entire world. For anybody who is willing to accept my name and my Father and acknowledge us, I'm here to save them. But in order to give them that chance to do that, I have to make it to this cross. So he let all these people mock him, ridicule him, and doubt him. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. See, people like this, lower vibrational, they don't think like that. They don't think, oh, well, maybe this person isn't responding because they actually believe in God and they want to take the high road, They don't really think like that. I don't know. Pray for him if you want to. But they don't think like that. Alright? They're thinking, this person, I'm gonna say this to this person, to collective. I'm gonna disrespect them, or I'm gonna throw underhanded remarks, and they ain't gonna respond. They're too stupid to know what I'm talking about, and they don't know that I'm saying this and saying that. Or they're cowards. They ain't gonna stand up to me. The thing is, collective, if you're anything like me, you're suppressing a lot of that rage. Okay? For lack of a better word, the three-headed dragons, in your case, your shadow, however you look at your shadow, is asleep. On purpose. Because you're afraid. If you let all that anger out, okay, what might happen? Okay? So, but they're going to think you're cowards. They're going to think you're a chicken shit. They're going to think you're afraid. They're going to think that because fighting's that's how they handle things. Okay? That's their answers. That's how they handle things, okay? So they're going to think that you're, coward. But they thought Jesus was a coward too. They doubted him too, and they thought he was a liar. And, but he saw the bigger picture. All right? He saw the mission that he was supposed to be completing. The bigger picture. So the proving himself, I'm sure he was like, nah, that's not important right now. Proving myself. And also, if he went to prove himself and his power to those people, that would be operating an ego, would it not? Because he'd be doing it to, they're provoking him, so he would be like puffing out his chest, like, yeah, you want to see me fight, that's what that would be. That's operating an ego. So he would be operating an ego and operating in sin, right? Defeating the whole purpose of why he came down here and went through all that. So, keep that in mind, collective. And as always, thanks for spending all this time with me. If you've watched this far. If not, that's okay. Come back to it later, whatever. But the message goes as long as it goes. So, nothing we can do about it, Do I want me to say something? Want me to share something with you, I'm going to share it with you. Remember, always, I love you.